It's Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Moriah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. I guess my hat. I can't see my face. How you guys doing, Tokwe?
I'm good. Very eventful, positively eventful weekend. But I'm just very, very grateful to God. Last week was Shiloh week, and I have been enjoying immense boost in my faith during the entire Shiloh program. I joined live as YouTube, and yesterday it was just very impactful. I just wanted to reiterate how and thank God again for His faithfulness. I haven't got to my camera, but I have been overwhelmed with obvious love from God, obvious faithfulness of His work. Like, it pays to serve God, and it's just a peace I have within me concerning all that is around me, and I just want to give all glory to God on national television.
Hi, Maya.
I'm fine, but for me, I'm starting this morning on a sad note, so I am I want to express deeply my condolences to the family of the late Sam Inda Isaiah. He was the founder and chairman of the Leadership newspaper. So thoughts and my prayers go out to his family, and to my friend Jonathan Inda Isaiah. You know, my most sincere sympathies. You know, his soul rest in peace.
Amen.
Yes,
Amen. Because there was another gentleman that committed suicide. Ojora, I saw it was in papers also. I mean, lots of people have died for different reasons, but our hearts go out to the families and their loved ones. So, any other thing? Well, Friday was TVC end of the year party. It was fun. We had a great time and family hanging out, and just good. We're grateful to God. God has been faithful. It's the end of the year. Lots of people thought that by this time, you know, there'll be lots of sadness. Yes, there is, but in the midst of it all, there's still something. There's a musician that said, God has still left a room for thankfulness.
Yeah. So I mean, the traffic was horrible on that particular day. Just leaving work to go home, and I couldn't make it back.
Yes, you go home pretty late that day.
I really was prepared in my nice white outfit. I wasn't expecting that we would have an end-of-year party, but you're right. It was, you know, it made sense. There was a Thanksgiving. Because to have life right now and to be of good health right now, that is major, and it's good to celebrate.
Especially as a company, TVC went through a whole lot, and there was no loss of life. There was terrible accident that happened just a few months ago. Then after that, the premises got burnt, offices and a lot of things were lost, and yet nobody died. You know, and for that we really, really need to continue to be grateful. And then we're looking for this countdown to Christmas. I think 12 days to Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas. I mean, the kids are asking for gifts for their teachers. You know, that season where you have to get to. So I'm just looking
because it's online and all that. I'd forgotten about gifts for teachers. Because when I am the teacher, that needs gifts.
All right, let's go and break it to Monday. There's only one news in the papers, but we're going to go through it anyway. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Jackson, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
The National Assembly is a busy place. As the bastion of democracy, it is a place where bills are presented, motions debated, laws made, and the yearnings of the people are laid bare. Come with us as we take you through the workings of the National Assembly. We take you through plenary, committee meetings, and probes, all to ensure smooth working of the democratic process.
The TVC News at 7 and the TVC News at 10 are not like any other news broadcast.
It's the big news hour, the hour for the big breaking stories.
We've got some of the best reporters on the field,
Taking you through as it happens.
it's fast-paced, hard-hitting,
With investigations that matter.
bringing in news that affects your life.
With sport, entertainment and business news so you don't miss a thing.
Experience resourceful coverage with depth.
Every night.
Around 8 o'clock like this, I begin to shoot everybody.
When the man they there now, we beg them, please come. They don't help us, but when they spoil everything.
We have reported the matter to the police.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to start with the nation. Governor, no contact yet from abductors of 333 peoples. Forex interventions give false hope to Naira, says IMF. The Nation is Dame Newspaper of the Year. Joshua calls out fury over beating Pulev. 18 generals test positive for COVID-19. And government firms raise 2 trillion naira from capital market.
The 774.
Okay, let me take the headline.
Okay,
The major headline.
it's everywhere. So let's take another story. Not that
There's a
it's on
story
here.
about 774 jobs to kick off on the 5th of January.
That, yes.
Yes, so Festus Keyamo gave a release that they had glitches in implementing the jobs. Remember that we're going to have jobs cutting across all the local governments. And so he said there were glitches in kicking it off in December, but that it would give the final word because everything has been put in place for it to start off on the 5th of January. This 774 jobs would go to, would be getting paid for 3 months. So during the dry season of January, February, and March, the banks that are going to be making the payments have already been verified. All the approved people that will be getting these jobs have already gotten their accounts opened. He also mentioned that the president asked him to have a corruption-free process, and that he has ensured. That he heard that there are other committees bringing up lists. Nobody should go into any other committee. The list has been generated by him, and people that are paying those committees, separate committees, their NDE list is not approved. The list is already on ground. So just focus your energy for those that have already been approved to wait till January to implement.
And that's
So yes, 18 generals have tested positive for COVID-19. Most of them came in contact with the late Major General Olu Irefin, who was reported to have died of COVID-19. And also the Secretary to the Government and Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID, Boss Mustafa, announced that he and his wife are going into isolation because some members of his family also tested positive for the COVID-19, although they are asymptomatic. And it's just telling us that it seems that a lot of Nigerians have are forgetting to follow the guidelines. Somehow we think that it's not as prevalent as it was, that it hasn't gone anywhere. Keep wearing your mask, using your sanitizers, and keep social distancing.
Okay. So Anthony Joshua beat Pulev over the weekend, and Governor of Ogun State is saying that they've been praying for him, that God answered their prayer, that he's exhibiting the Ogun State plan. I'm thinking to myself, really? Wow.
Well done.
Well done to you. I think he's Nigerian. Anthony Joshua is a Nigerian. Please, let's leave that matter. They always claim states once somebody's doing well abroad. Moving on now to Daily Sun. 333 students still missing in Katsina. Explain how Petroleum Ministry spent 116 million naira on pens, others, says Serap. Going to prison is an eye-opener, says Kalu. Nigerians blow $1 billion buying foreign citizenship and golden visas. IPOB unveils vigilantes for Southeast region. Okay, so we'll still hold up on the major headline. Let's take a few other stories.
So Nigerians are spending a whole lot of money in order to get citizenships of other countries and what they call golden visas. And they say in 2020 alone, the number of people who have applied for these visas has risen by 185%. They have spent, in this year alone, about $1 billion, not naira, dollars. Nigerians are putting lots of money in there, and they say that the surge happened when coronavirus started. A lot of people who need to travel out for medical reasons could not, are unable to do so with Nigerian visas. But when you have like these visas for the other countries, it's easier to fly out quickly. And then some people just do not like the hassle of standing on the queues for visas and things like that. So they get all these golden visas. And it says there's this particular firm that helps people get these visas. It's called Henley and Partners, and it says that the number of Nigerians who are applying for this is just unbelievable. That it is so huge. Many people are saying that they are leaving before the collapse of the nation. This is sad.
Yeah, really sad.
Really sad.
Our chief whip in the Senate, former governor of Abia State, Dr. Oji Uzakalu, went to Christ Embassy to do a Thanksgiving church, and he said that he's thanking God because going to prison was an eye-opener for him. He said that there was a time he went to meet Pastor Chris. He's known Pastor Chris for over 28 years, and that Pastor Chris prayed for him and told him that he had a prophecy that he's going to go to prison, and then he felt like it was impossible. But when the prophecy came to pass, he learned a lot from the experience of going to prison, but that he's out and he's calling for a united front for Nigeria. There's so much division and so much hatred, and he's preaching for peace.
People usually sing new songs when they go to prison.
What are the lessons that he learned? Were they lessons about corruption?
I'm sure you write a book. This kind of things push people to write a book because life just flashes in your face. IPOB is saying that they've unveiled a vigilante group for Southeast. Since the government of the Southeast and South Side are sleeping on this matter, Southwest have put together theirs and Moteco, the Northern have theirs. So they've come up with Eastern something network, Eastern Security Network.
Isn't IPOB the proscribed group already?
Yes, so they are coming up with their own security agency, saying that they're going to ensure they defeat the Fulani terrorists in their own, the headsmen terrorists, in their raping their wives and children and abducting and kidnapping their men. Moving on now to Vanguard. Weekend abduction protests rock Katsina over abducted 333 schoolboys. SGF Mustafa goes into isolation as family members test positive for COVID-19. Terror in Oyo as gunmen kidnapped 2 foreigners, kill PDP chieftain and security guard. PIB, Senate exposes how staff of Petroleum Ministry paid himself or herself 145 million naira media campaign fund. Okay, let's take the major headline, Mariam.
Okay, so it's just, we all woke up to a very sad story at the weekend about government science secondary school, Kankara in Katsina State, where bandits attacked the school and kidnapped over 300 pupils. Many of the students at first, over 400 were unaccounted for at the time that this happened, but say about 200 of them. According to the report, says police rescued 200, and a few of the other students who had run into the bushes came back. And so the numbers that left that are unaccounted for are 333 left. And the governor is saying that of course, with the federal government and our security architect and our military are saying that they are going to put all efforts to make sure that they speedily recover these children. There was also a protest that happened. They say it was led by some of the parents of the abducted pupils asking the government to rescue their children. One report claims that there were tear gas. Tear gas was thrown at the parents. But the Katsina state government has denied it and says that people should please stop politicizing this event, that this has happened to everybody, affects everybody, no matter what side you're on.
In addition to that, one of the army have always also responded that they've identified where the children are and they have intelligence and they will do everything to go and rescue them, but they're only praying that we should pray that there's no collateral damage in trying to rescue those children, but they know where they are and they're going to do everything to ensure every single child comes back alive.
Two quick story. There's terror happening in Ibadan, Oyo State, very worrisome. There was murder of a PDP Ipi chieftain that was killed on his farm. Butchered was the word. There was also kidnapping of 2 foreigners along Lagos Ibadan Express on the Ibadan side. As in, there are pockets of attacks going on, violence going on. They claim it is ascribed to headsmen, and then there are some that just were blatant kidnapping. But I think that we really need to have the security apparatus back in place, and Amotekun to also sit up to do the work of protecting internal security of the roads farm, because the man that was butchered on his farmland. Please, let's do more.
Now we're now calling Amotekun.
We have to call Amotekun now. We've called police, we've called vigilante, we have NSCDC, we have many of them. Everybody should just come out, because this season kidnapping has proven to be profitable, and we need to stop them.
We're just all tired. 43 farmers were beheaded the other day.
Yes.
We are yet to get a resolution. We are still on the Lekki Tobuke matter. Our president's speech did not mention it. He didn't even acknowledge it. Now we have boys within his own state have been kidnapped. He's yet to speak to us. Have you heard from him? Maybe he's not speaking. Has he spoken to us?
No, the president hasn't said anything.
Okay.
Well, we believe he's also in Katsina, because he said he had just gone to Katsina for a short visit. So it happened.
Okay, let's continue to hope for the best and keep these children, these boys in our prayers. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So today we actually have a supermodel, international supermodel, that'll be our guest later on. But first, we need to open our phone lines to hear Nigerians' views on the abduction of these young boys. So over the weekend, as we said earlier, the news of the abducted 333 schoolboys from Government Science Secondary School Kankara in Katsina filtered through the air. Now, the governor, Aminu Masari, said that they are yet to be found. And this truly is sad for many Nigerians, because there have been lots of thoughts on this. We'd like to hear your views, especially because we've been through this street before in 2014 with the Chibok girls' abduction. And there was quite a lot of pushback from Nigerians when the government kept denying that it actually happened. But in this case, there hasn't been any denial, but there have been assurances from the army that the boys will be found. Let's hear your thoughts on this. You can call us on 090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your TVC so we can read your tweets. All right, so this happened in Katsina, especially the state of our president. Before the break, I was saying that we are all here complaining that the president's speech did not, the speech after the Lekki shooting did not reference what happened, the fact that 43 farmers were beheaded, and we're yet to even hear him actually even go there or to condone. We've seen that, we know the army went there, and other people visited the governor, but we've not, the president's posture hasn't really been empathetic. Now, this has happened in his state, and we're seeing exactly the same thing. I'd like to hear your thoughts on not just the president's response, but the security apparatus within that state. The fact that even till now, especially in the north, you expect that many of these schools have extra security because of what has happened in the past. What are your general thoughts? And I'd like to open our phone line so I'll call us and call in to hear their thoughts on this. Yes.
Okay. Sadly, Nigeria's security apparatus reflects that which of a failed state. You know, a failed state is a state that cannot protect the citizens of a state. A state that cannot ensure that people freely go to work and get back home. It's a failed state. Your children don't have peace. Parents don't have peace taking their kids to school. I have a farm, and every time I'm thinking of going and I tell anybody I'm going, my people are scared. They remind me of everybody that got kidnapped the week before. I read the papers and I hear stories of people going to their farm getting kidnapped. This is the definition of a failed state. So it's not about declaring a state of emergency on some areas. It's about declaring a state of emergency on the nation, because everywhere is not safe, Morayo. There are kidnappings in the north, there are kidnappings in the south, there are kidnappings in the east. It is not a small, isolated situation in the north. This that happened in Katsina is terrible. I cannot imagine how those parents would feel. There's no way anybody can imagine being in that kind of situation. And to have a president who's a father and a grandfather, But we hear people around him saying that a lot has been done. What is the a lot that has been done? We need to have constant conversations with, he needs to have constant conversations with his people to assure us of what he's doing. There needs to be a posture of, I understand, I can imagine what you're going through, and I am working and doing my very best to ensure I protect you better. We're not having that response. The shout has been on for over a year. For most of his administration, that he should fire the military, the service chiefs, because one, the chief of army staff is already years overdue in terms of retirement. Can you now inject new blood and new ideas? But we haven't done that.
Mara, let me hear your initial thoughts on
so
this.
For me, my heart is really heavy. I mean, when I heard this story, I was like, again, why, you know? And I was saying to you earlier before the show started that, what are we coming here to say? What are we going to tell Nigerians? What are we going to express? What new words are we going to give Nigerians? What are we going to tell these parents who are now sitting down, haven't slept and woken up to the reality that their children have been kidnapped from school? You know, we hear the government say Boko Haram is somewhat defeated. These are just soft targets. They are cowards. Okay, we know that they are cowards. We know the soft targets. Let's secure the soft targets so that they do not reach there. And then when they do, see, I think many governments and administration find it impossible to, you know, everybody comes, when you do good, you're able to come and say, this is what we have done and this is what we're doing going forward, and you praise yourself. But what we do not see governments do is come in front of the people and admit to them that they have failed. We are sorry, but we need to admit to you Nigerians that concerning the war against insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, we have failed and we need help. Simple. And you see the Americans that say that they are singular American. Talk to those sort of people. We need your help. Come, let's do whatever it is that you need so that this can stop. So that our children will stop being kidnapped from under our noses, taken away, turned into bandits. Tomorrow, you will catch them because they have been strapped with bullets on their bodies. It's just so unfair. I feel so sad. You know, this is the far north for today. We have our own children. We're going to send them to school tomorrow. And then they go to school. Is this the sort of, you know, you send your child off to school, aren't you going to be afraid that what may happen to my own child? Do we look at these children because they sound like far northern children or children far in the north? That is not a reality for it cannot be a reality for every Nigerian. Please, we should do something. I just have nothing to say.
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll open our phone lines to hear Nigerians' thoughts on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to open our phone lines. You can call us on 090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YoVTVC so we can read your tweets. Now,
so we have a field system. You know, I remember that a few years ago, it was kidnapping in the Niger Delta, and they were kidnapping foreigners, people that came to work there. Then in the north, it started as Boko Haram, and then it was just little by little, they were growing, they were fighting Western education, and then we had banditry, and then now we had what they call killer headsmen, then now we have kidnapping, not just in small localities, everywhere. It is, we have created an industry, you know, and this monster we have made has now gone out of control. And it will require a whole lot more than just throwing money at it. Because so far, what we've done is we've been paying ransoms. And as long as we keep paying ransom, we would continue to encourage this industry. But I cannot look into the face of anybody whose family member has been kidnapped and say, don't pay ransom. Because it's not on top of my head or my child or my family member's head that you now start the discipline. But the government needs to, it's not carrot and stick approach, because they've tried offering.
But okay, do you think this is time for us to have that constitutional review? Because maybe the issue we're having is there is a group of people that say they're against Western education. Some are saying they are against democracy. Some are saying that they don't believe, they demand resource control. Maybe it's time for us to have a conversation, because go back to that confab report.
Well, this is criminal. This is crime.
I know crime. I understand where I'm coming from. Where is Boko Haram coming from? Boko Haram is saying they're against Western education, right? And they seem to also have people who believe in that same ideology. Now, if it is in fact so, why are we even having schools in certain areas? Why do we even move? I mean, I'm just thinking hypothetically because nobody has all the solutions to the problem. But those children are vulnerable because they are in school in a certain region. So why don't we find a way to reorganize? Because if you want to send your child to school, send them to the southeast, or send them to the southeast, or send them somewhere where there wouldn't be any group against Western education. Because that's what we're reading from this.
From my own, the idle hand is the devil's workshop. We have many idle hands. Many. Mariah, we have millions. I drove to Lekki yesterday and I was seeing like a mob when you're about to turn into that Sakumo area. They gather, they're trying to wash your car. Then there are women with children coming to beg you for alms. And I'm like, these people, you see these little children, these like 10 of them on the road, these are the potential challenge, these are the potential in the next 10 years problem for us as a nation. We need to get them positively engaged, and until this nation finds a way to provide jobs for people so that they will not resort to crime as a way of feeding their family, then we've not started, because it's that loophole. We keep, because when they get older, then we have a new generation that will fill in the gap for these criminals.
So Mariam, the army said that they're going to rescue these children. Do you trust that we'll get these children back? Do you really believe?
I hope. I just hope, and I pray that they do. But from what we have seen over time with the Chibok girls, we're counting years with, you know. And it's not just, we're calling Chibok girls, we're calling GSS Kankara because those are the big ones. This thing is happening every day, and we do not hear so many stories of rescue. With the way the military has carried itself, with what the rescue mission has shown us, it does not seem as if, you know, there's any hope. But that is all I can depend on right now. We need hope, but also we need help. Our own military or security architecture obviously is unable to do this. You have done your best. So we're not saying that, you know, although many people would beg to differ, we're not saying that you folded your arms and you're doing nothing. But maybe this is overwhelming for you. Maybe this is something you cannot handle. You know, we took in the papers last week where a representative of the United States of America was saying that it seems that Nigerian government, they do not like the response. Our response seems so inadequate when we hear stories of kidnapping and banditry like that. And they're willing to help us. For those who are willing to help us, for those who have the strategy, who have the intelligence, who have the weapons to help, let's engage these people.
Okay, let me take this call from Umar from Adamawa State. Good morning, Umar. Are you there? Yeah, Umar, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes. My contribution here is that President Muhammad Buhari has already tried in terms of security, because we that are in the Northeast, we know what he has done to us. As before, no any market. Before you go to church, before you enter mosque, you must be checked before you go to church or to mosque or market. But today, no any bomb blast. I could remember there was a time when bomb blast rock Kano, getting to more than 20 bombs at a time. But today, all these things, we forget about all the things now. The issue is that, like you have said, the issue of these service chiefs, they are long overdue for Mr. President to change the service chiefs. But for the president to come out and say he failed, you are not fair to Mr. President, because we that we are in the Northeast, we know what the president has done to us in terms of security. No more checkpoints now, and it is very hard for you as a Nigerian to identify the correct soldier and the wrong soldiers, because security tactics is different, and the Boko Haram are using the poorest step to engage them in doing this thing. And I want to assure you, because you people, maybe you are staying in Lagos, you don't know what is happening here. No, everyone is not safe. It's not in terms of school, or in terms of market, or in terms of church or mosque. This Boko Haram, they don't have even motion or agenda of crippling only the educational system. Rather, they are against government. They don't have mission. In short, they don't have mission and vision. Everyone is not safe.
Thank you very much, Umar. Thank you. Thank you for shedding light, at least from Umar's perspective and from our state. He said the president has actually done a lot, because they used to have a lot of gold mines, but now that has been reduced drastically. And I mean, so they're relatively safe within that community. And it's good to hear some good news from that northern region. But going back to our president's response, I mean, is this just his style? Do you think? Maybe we need to understand it better. Maybe we're the ones expecting too much.
Ashama Ahmad said, I'm compelled to act on this. This president needs to know visiting and showing empathy is symbolic. So I think that leaders around the world, this is what they do. When even if you don't know anything, if you don't have anything to do, you show up and just say, I care, I understand, I feel you. And I'm sorry. It's just to show that empathy. But we don't see that, we don't get that response. We don't even get it from media aides around the president. What they do is lash and attack anybody that attacks the president. We are being pained. People are hungry. At the same time, they are being killed, they are being kidnapped, they are dying. And you expect us to be reasonable. You should wear the shoes. We don't have escorts. If State Additional is going out, he would have escorts. There would be security apparatus around him that would take the bullet before it gets to him. We don't have that. So we have the Nigerian is entitled to be angry and lash out on Twitter. The government officials don't have any right to be angry with the citizens. Your job is to assure us and empathize and say you are sorry over and over and over again.
And because Nigerians always say, whenever this comes up, we talk about the service chiefs. We have said that they are long overdue. If you're not even speaking, let us see that you have done something. Do you understand? If you're not standing in front of the people and taking the mic and saying this, I'm sorry, let us just even hear that we woke up in the morning and everybody has been cleared out and fresh, and just new service chiefs have been appointed, and we have new strategy, new ideas, fresh blood. In fact, people would be so moved by that form of action over than your words. But now we don't even have action, we don't have words. Some people have been able to hold down a country and calm down a situation with just words. They come out, they speak the words, they calm you down, and you're able to tell where your mind is, that you have empathy. But there's nothing, it's just almost silence.
Let me take this call from Teslim from Kaduna State. Teslim, are you there?
Yes.
Thanks for calling, you're live.
Hello, good morning, I'm on the line.
Morning, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I just want to add to what Mr. Umar said from Adamawa State.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. We are not saying the government have not done anything.
Okay.
They have done something, but they have not done enough. Right. They are trying, but they have not done enough. Just like I said, in this country, our president is poor. He's very, very poor. I would have to admit it. If something is going wrong, you have not admitted it. That means you are not saying there's something wrong. But that admission alone is something. That's why what Papa said. That dictation you go to make it sympathize with the people, it really, really means a lot. But when there's something going on, the president just gets news, people are dying, people are saying the president does not say anything, maybe he just send a delegate to go there. Do you think those people at heart will say, okay, this president, whatever you have done to them and you have not sympathized with them, you have not come out to say something, they will never look at you like you are doing something. But that's just words of sympathy. You utter a word, you make the person feel calm. Even when somebody is agitated or is angry, you make him feel better, less pain, less pain. But in this country, we have nothing like that. It's like the government does not care. They're not even bothered. They're all after what they achieve, what the government have done. They have done damage, they have done this, just very no.
Thank you very much, Chesty. See, there are different kinds of leaders. There are leaders that have that attitude of, I have engaged quality hands or competent hands to handle this situation. I expect and I trust that they will do their job. He's not the kind of leader that wants to be there in the front lines. He's a leader that leads from behind. No, I've empowered you. So maybe that's the kind of leader he is. He's the kind that expects his Buratai to be at the forefront. So even if the president is not there, why are we not even hearing from Buratai himself?
That sort of leadership will work if that strategy was working. if, as I said earlier, if we're not hearing from you, but that we can see the action, happening and things are changing.
Exactly.
And you should be like, this our, you hear now, this our president is a silent performer. But you're just it's like you're silent and, what is happening.
Yeah, right.
So, in fact, maybe even for PR's sake, to make it look good, he should be advised to speak up, because these are tough times, as the two callers called from Adamawa and from Kaduna State, where they're saying that they have seen some form of work by the federal government,
Tell us.
and we don't hear that enough. So you tell us. Many people say, because you live in the South, you live in Lagos, you don't know. But I know people who do not necessarily share their own opinion about how things are being handled. So, but if we hear it from you, you tell us. We used to have the vice president speak.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he has gone silent as well. And
mute.
I mean, what's
totally
happening?
mute. Even for him to come to National Assembly, they're playing the constitutional card. Come and speak to us. Okay, fine, you don't want to speak to the media. Speak to the another arm of government, the National Assembly. Your people are not bringing constitutional cards. It's not constitutional. Let's just start a precedence where it's like start summoning governors to come and start speaking at the House of Assembly. Who does that in the face of insecurity, heightened insecurity in our nation? We have to wrap up on this. Let's take pictures and run away.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, so Andrew Stratham is saying that this is like frog syndrome. We keep adjusting oneself in the cold kettle on fire till one gets boiled. That's the situation in Nigeria. They keep on adjusting and shouting Niger for life. Tonte Ibikalabo, sorry for that pronunciation. President Buhari's response to the crisis, the best he does is to be in shock, and that's all. Nigeria needs assurance that their lives are not on a time bomb. Nigerians want to live and not die. Nigerians want to breathe freely. So people are just asking, I guess, let's hear your thoughts. I am Strochi says, if we like, we should change service chiefs 100 times. Without an effective, well-equipped and responsive police, it's all a waste. Students were kidnapped from a school. Next thing is military. What happened to the police? What of the IG, the DIGs, the AIGs? So, everyone is complicit in this. Donucci says, it's really sad that we have this type that the government doesn't seem to value human lives at all. This is the same way our government and its military said that they're on top of the Chibok girls' abduction, and up till today, most of the girls are still missing, and now this.
We have to wrap up on this, unfortunately. That's all we can take. As I said, Mariam said earlier, all we have is hope. So we'll just hold on to that string of hope from the military, saying that they know where these boys are and they're going to go after them, and they're asking Nigerians to pray that there won't be much collateral damage. And let us do that. We can pray that the boys, none of them would die, and that the military will rescue them. We pray for their safe return to their families and loved ones. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll see if we can speak to our celebrity international guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, we have a guest. She's still one of the best known and most successful black models of all time. Her career has paved the way for many women of color in the fashion industry, as she has faced and defeated people's prejudices. Welcome with us, Naomi Campbell. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Welcome to the show.
She's supposed to be on the show, but unfortunately she's stuck in traffic.
There you go.
Morning, Naomi. Are you there? Hello? Hi, Naomi. Are you there?
Yeah.
Hi, good morning.
Hello, I can hear you very faintly.
Can you hear me well?
Very far away, faintly.
Faintly. Okay, well, we just introduced you. We know you're on your way here and there's traffic in Lagos. But how have you been? We know you were here for the Fashion Week. Tell us about that.
You gonna call back?
She has to call back?
Yes. Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, but not very, very, very
It's not very clear. Okay, I'll ask the producers to call you back. Maybe we can get it clearer.
That's better right now.
It's better now. Okay, so we know you are here for the Fashion Week. Tell us about that, your experience with the Fashion Week.
Say that again, my darling. not hearing you so clear.
Oh, technology, we can't hear you. Okay,
Again?
Yeah.
See if you could say that again.
I was saying that, tell us about the fashion week you attended this past few days. How was it? What was the turnout like? And how was your experience? Could you share with us your experience at the fashion week?
Well, the fashion week was virtual. It wasn't media, there wasn't any audience. The only thing we had was judges. And it's a Rise Fashion Week, but it's a Rise for 30 under 30. So it's for young new rising star designers, giving them the opportunity and the platform to get their work seen and making them connect to the other side of the world. I came, and that was what my intention is, that they do get recognized the way they should have been all this time. So really, it's a new way of doing a Rise. We've never done it this way before, but I feel it's the right way, where they get funds to also support their brands and businesses.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Naomi, we're huge fans here, especially me. I'm sure all my family and friends are really excited for me right now that I'm talking with you. So my question is, you've always had a strong interest in Africa, African fashion, our beauty, our music. Why is Africa important to you, and why is it a cause that you hold so dearly?
Did you get that?
Hello?
Did you get that?
Not drinking, my own. Hello, say it again?
Okay, so I was talking about why Africa's fashion, music, and you know, you seem to have such love for our music, our fashion, and why is that so? Why is it important to you? Why do you have such love for it? Why are you pushing the agenda of?
Well, it's not new for me to be on the continent. I've been supporting Africa since 1993, when I met the great President Nelson Mandela. So I started off first in South Africa, then North, then East, and then West. So I've always championed the continent, and I will continue to be, but I started off with children first, and mothers and children. And so, for me, this is the world I live in, and fashion. So, of course, if I can implement what it is that I do, it makes even more sense.
Right.
Okay, so...
And as for the music, I just feel like it's happy music. I feel like the country in a whole has just been not included in the way it should be. So right now, for me, it's very important why I came here during the pandemic. It's about inclusion. If I can use myself to help bring awareness and create inclusion, then that's exactly why I'm here. That's what my goal is.
Right.
And that's something that I was always told to do by President Nelson Mandela when I was younger, like when I was 23, but I didn't quite understand it when I was young. And now that he's no longer with us, it kind of just, I don't know, it kicked in even stronger, and I have to do it, because I'm not going to see my culture not be recognized for the great work that they do and not get the opportunities that they deserve to get when they have the same qualifications as well.
Okay, go ahead.
So I want to take you back into the fashion and modeling industry, because the pandemic hits every industry this year, but how was the experience of doing the work, having to catwalk to an empty audience? How does that feel for you? You've been doing this for many years, and you understand the energy, it feeds you. How has the experience been this year, doing this without a live audience?
It's actually, doing it without a live audience is a little, there was still an ambiance, because you had the crew and all the people, production that were there trying to fill in. But, for me, it's important to think about the reach. Virtually, it actually can reach more people than ever before. And I do feel that more eyes were on a Rise Fashion Week than ever before. Not only because they realize that they want to try and make up for what they've missed and but not supporting. A lot of people now realize that they have failed in that respect. But I think also we're lucky that in Africa and Nigeria that we were able to do this with the challenging time that we're facing. Not a lot of countries can do this, and we're able to do it. So that in itself is a major achievement, I feel. So, but for the team that will pull this together, and if you've got, you know,
Naomi.
I was very happy. Huh?
Naomi, what do you think is the missing link? Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you think is the missing link in getting African fashion to get that global recognition? Because our fashion is out there. Sorry?
Sorry, what did it take, you said?
What did you say?
What do you think is the missing link in getting African fashion to get that global recognition? Because we do see our fabrics.
The missing link is, it's not that deep. The missing link is they just, let's go upstairs and go look at one. The missing link is just they just did not include. It's ignorance and the story. That's really it. It's not that deep. They just didn't, don't put my balance with people. They just did not include Africa in the fashion capitals of the world or when planning their fashion weeks. Inclusion. It's education, inclusion, education of how one should be. Now, you know, what's most important is that they don't start grabbing at Africa designers and, you know, and start thinking, okay, let's make up for it at great speed. Because it's not a trend. Now that we're getting global recognition, we're going to keep this global recognition. That's for sure.
Okay, Naomi, there's this conversation we have a lot of here, where some people feel that you don't beg to be included. Almost asking for inclusion is like you're begging to be called to be part of this particular table. So some people are saying, create your own table, create your own awards, recognize yourself to the point where the world will come and meet you. What do you think about conversations like this? Is it important that you should be included in established, awards, or just create your own and start off from there, and eventually the world will catch up?
Say that a little bit again, because I think all of you cut out.
Okay, so I think there's two types of conversation we have about inclusion here in Nigeria, where sometimes it feels like asking to be included is like we're begging for the crumbs, Meanwhile, while others are saying, instead of doing that, create your own platform, create your own awards, and give yourself the recognition, and then the world will catch up to, with you eventually. What do you think about conversations like that? Why is it important to ask to be included in already established in an already established industry instead of starting afresh? I hope I'm not.
I feel, yes, I do agree with you about creating the own platform. I feel like, why should we? Yes, I agree that we should wait to create our own platform, and I also agree but at the same time, we're not accepting crumbs. No, it has to be treated with equality, the same. No, so that's no. But yes, I do agree with you. It's time to start to do our own.
Right.
Absolutely, yes.
We're going to go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, unfortunately, our guest can't make it, and we're having connection issues with her. So, we'll just have to continue without her at this time. But we hope that next time she's in Nigeria, she'll stop by and see the ladies But I mean, I know you're a fan, Bene. I know you're looking forward to seeing her today.
Looking forward to meeting her.
But I mean, it's interesting how many international artists and success are coming to identify with Africa, which is important. They're connecting with us. You know, many of them in the music industry, fashion, acting, they're all connecting, which is great. So Africa really is the next frontier.
I really love, I saw pictures of Kuti. Trust YK not to really make a fuss over it and post pictures, the Kuti family. But Naomi went to visit Naomi Campbell, let's just be clear.
She's almost like a regular visitor at the shrine.
Yes, and then she went to their house. Yes, Alagbole, and then there are pictures everywhere, and I feel that it always reminds me of how these people get recognized internationally. Every international star comes to Nigeria, they want to go to the shrine or go to this place, and we don't take it very seriously and all of that. And I also wanted to ask lifestyle questions, because I know Mariam is already on the path, but she's 50 and she looks amazing, you know, so how do they keep us? How does she keep the body and all of that together? But many Nigerians are more concerned about how to eat and that. Well, sometimes we just have to distract ourselves a bit because the country is
like that around. But she comes here this every year, so hopefully next year we'll see her. But next time you meet you, because Mariam adores Naomi Campbell. Like because of how we made sure that Mariam was on the show today. Lagos traffic has just dashed our dreams of meeting Naomi Campbell. But either way,
I didn't tell anyone because I didn't want to jinx it. I didn't want to say to anybody at home that she was coming on the show
today.
And now.
So they won't jinx it. So you're not telling them that jinxed it. Because traffic is.
No, but the traffic.
I think that is fabulous. But once again, our hearts go out to the families of those, and we pray that your children, your boys, return to you safely. And we're going to, as I said earlier, hold on to that string of hope that Mariam talked about, that those boys come back safely. That's all we can take on the show today. Have a fabulous day. Oh, yes, one more thing. Somebody was talking about the tweet that you read that said we shouldn't be discussing security issues with emotions. Yes, that person is right. Security issues shouldn't be talked about in emotions. Absolutely. But there's an emotional part of it. These are mothers, these are families, these are children that have been abducted. So that emotional angle is relevant, is important. However, there's the other angle of the technicalities of security, and that's one of the reasons why they're giving why our president cannot come and speak on security, because he's not allowed to divulge the intelligence of what they're doing. But either way, there's an emotional part to every single conversation, and that's the emotional part we plan to talk about today. Maybe going forward in the week at some point, we'll bring in the experts to tell us the technical approach the Nigerian government has to ensure that Nigerians are safe. Have a fabulous week. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.